The galaxy never feared Earth. To most alien maps, Earth was nothing. A small blue dot, lost at the edge of a spiral arm. The great empires called it a backwater. Traders laughed at it. Generals ignored it. Even the Great Council of Species once mocked it openly, calling humans the noisy monkeys who play with fire but never leave their jungle. For centuries, the galaxy believed Earth had no voice, no power, and no place in the stars. But deep in the shadows of human history, something else was growing. The first sign of change came quietly. A pulse of energy rippled across the solar system, so faint that most sensors dismissed it as background noise. Only Earth scientists noticed. They were watching the skies more carefully than anyone guessed. In a hidden laboratory, alarms rang. Screens lit up with alien code. It was a signal not natural, not human. It repeated again and again, steady like a heartbeat. Someone or something was watching. On the far edge of the system, near Neptune's cold orbit, the watchers revealed themselves. A fleet of alien ships, sleek, black, and shaped like knives, slid into the dark. They carried no banners, no warning. Their orders were simple. Study the humans. Measure their worth. Decide if they should kneel or burn. To them, it was just another inspection. Another weak world to categorize. They had no idea what waited for them. Beneath Earth's mountains, far from any city, human leaders gathered inside an underground chamber lit by dim screens. The air was heavy with tension. Images of alien ships floated above the table. "They are scouting us," one commander said. "They want to see if we are worth conquering." Another voice answered, calm but cold. "Then let us show them something worth fearing." What the galaxy never knew was that Earth had been preparing for decades. While aliens dismissed them, humans discovered strange wrecks that had fallen from the skies. Shattered pieces of forgotten wars, fragments of alien machines. The governments of Earth never announced it. They studied them in silence. They built in silence. And now, when the aliens finally came, humanity was ready. The fleet advanced without fear. Their weapons could shatter mountains. Their shields could laugh at nuclear fire. They believed humans were still crawling, still trapped on their little planet. But when they crossed the orbit of Mars, shadows moved. From hidden docks buried in the asteroid belt, ships awakened. They were not as large as alien cruisers, not as polished, but their design was sharp, efficient, brutal. Human ships, steel-gray hulls armed with railguns, missiles, and weapons born from both human ingenuity and stolen alien secrets. The galaxy thought Earth had no fleet. They were wrong. The first clash lasted less than 10 minutes. Alien scanners failed. Human jammers blinded their eyes. Missiles cut through shields like knives through cloth. Railguns screamed across the void, each shot carrying the fury of a world that had been underestimated for too long. The aliens panicked. They had studied hundreds of species, crushed dozens of worlds, yet none had ever hit them like this. Humans did not fight like other races. They fought dirty, they fought clever, and they fought to win. When the silence returned, only wreckage drifted among the stars. The invaders were gone. But what shocked the galaxy more was what came next. Earth did not broadcast victory. No celebration reached the stars. The governments said nothing. They buried the wrecks in silence. They let the galaxy laugh a little longer. Because Earth understood something the aliens did not. The less they knew, the greater the fear would grow. Across distant worlds, whispers began. Where is the fleet we sent? Why are the ships silent? Did the humans destroy them? First, no one believed it. The idea was absurd. How could a forgotten world challenge a galactic fleet? But the silence continued. The ships never returned. The commanders never reported back. And slowly, the laughter of the galaxy began to fade. On Earth, life appeared normal. Children still walked to school. Markets still bustled with noise. Farmers still worked their fields. But beneath the quiet surface, preparations intensified. Secret factories built more weapons. Engineers refined new engines. Soldiers trained not for nations, but for the survival of humankind. The world the galaxy mocked was no longer waiting to be conquered. It was waiting to rise. The alien council finally turned serious. Reports of the missing fleet reached them one after another. At first, they accused rival empires of sabotage. But one voice, trembling, whispered a new possibility. What if it was the humans? Silence fell. For the first time in centuries, the galaxy looked toward the small blue planet not with laughter, but with unease. The forgotten world was waking, and soon the galaxy would discover what humans were truly capable of. The silence of the missing fleet was louder than any scream. For weeks, the alien council waited. They expected reports, signals, even wreckage, but nothing came. An entire squadron had entered the human system and vanished as if swallowed by the dark. No distress calls. No survivors. Just emptiness. At first, the council mocked the rumors. Lost to engine failure. Perhaps a wormhole swallowed them. Primitive humans cannot destroy warships. But when the silence stretched into months, whispers began to spread like cracks across glass. And whispers are more dangerous than weapons. In the hidden chambers of the Galactic Council, arguments broke out. The great lords of ancient empires pounded their fists on crystal tables. They are only humans, one alien roared, his scaled skin rippling with anger. Then where is our fleet? Another replied, her voice sharp and cold. The chamber grew tense. For thousands of years, no primitive race had ever resisted the Council's reach. Yet here was Earth, a backwater world, already bending the order of things. Some called for war, to send 1,000 ships and burn Earth to ash. Others hesitated. What if Earth had secrets? What if the fleet's silence was proof of a hidden strength? The void was whispering, and no one liked what it said. Meanwhile, on Earth, silence was part of the plan. Inside an underground base carved into ancient rock, human leaders gathered once more. Their faces were tired, but their eyes carried fire. On the table lay fragments of alien wreckage, hauled secretly from space, now glowing under harsh lights. A scientist spoke first, her voice steady. We have learned more in these past weeks than in 50 years. Their engines, their shields, even their weapons. Every piece we study becomes another step forward. A general nodded. The council is confused. They will not strike yet. They fear what they don't understand. That buys us time. We must use it. Earth was no longer blind. The wreckage of the alien fleet had become a gift, technology dissected, understood, and repurposed. Engines once beyond imagination now hummed in hidden hangars. Weapons once thought impossible were being tested in silence. And above all, humans had discovered something else. The aliens had grown arrogant, predictable. They followed rules. Humans did not. That was their greatest weapon. Far away, in the blackness of space, small human ships slipped quietly beyond the solar system. They carried no flags, no signals. Their orders were clear. Explore, observe, and vanish if seen. The galaxy thought Earth was still trapped at home. They were wrong. Scouts whispered back from hidden channels, their words like ghosts in the void. We have entered alien space. We see stations, defenses weaker than they claim. They are not ready for us. The humans were learning more than the council ever guessed. Every whisper returned to Earth, and every whisper made humanity stronger. But whispers moved both ways. On alien worlds, fear began to spread among ordinary citizens. Traders muttered in markets. Soldiers spoke quietly in barracks. The humans destroyed the fleet, they said. The humans are building something. No proof existed, yet fear grew like a storm. Fear of the unknown, fear of silence. The mighty council could not silence it. One empire secretly reinforced its borders. Another sent spies disguised as traitors to Earth. Yet none returned. The silence devoured them too. The void was no longer empty, carried whispers of Earth. In one dark corner of the galaxy, a group of warlords met. Their empires had fallen long ago, crushed by the council. But when they heard the rumors of Earth, they smiled. Maybe the humans are what we have been waiting for, one said, his voice like gravel. They are defying the council already. Perhaps they will break it. And for the first time in centuries, rebels had hope. Back on Earth, the preparations never slowed. Deep beneath oceans, factories built weapons that no one on the surface knew existed. In deserts, test sites glowed with strange new engines. Soldiers drilled not as armies of nations but as one people, humanity united by a single truth. The galaxy was watching, and one day it would strike. Yet the people above, living their daily lives, had no idea of the storm building in the stars. They laughed, they worked, they dreamed. While in silence, humanity sharpened its blade. Then, one night, a strange transmission was intercepted. It was faint, broken, but human analysts pieced it together. It was not from Earth. It was from the Council. Deploy Second Fleet. Double strength. Must confirm human threat. The room fell silent as the last words crackled through. If Earth resists again, we will erase them. The leaders looked at each other. Fear touched their faces, but behind that fear was fire. Let them come, one whispered. We are ready. And so the void carried whispers once more. Whispers of fear. Whispers of war. Whispers that the forgotten world had teeth. The galaxy no longer laughed. It listened. End of Part 2, approximate. 805 words. The Second Fleet came with thunder. Unlike the first quiet scouts, this one did not hide. Dozens of alien warships entered the solar system, their hulls glowing with energy, their engines shaking space itself. They came like hunters, confident, angry, and eager to show the galaxy that humans were nothing but insects to be crushed. Across alien worlds, people watched through Council broadcasts. This time, they said, the humans will fall. No primitive world can resist twice. But Earth was not the same Earth the galaxy thought it was. For years, humans had prepared in shadows. Now they were ready to step into the light. In the deserts of Earth, massive hangar doors opened. Dust storms swirled as enormous ships rose slowly into the sky. Their hulls were not polished like alien vessels. They were steel, dark, and sharp, built for war, not beauty. Engines roared with a mix of human design and alien technology stolen from wreckage. From the oceans, carriers surfaced, their decks filled with new fighters, sleek and deadly. From mountains, hidden silos rose, revealing weapons that no alien intelligence had ever seen. And above Earth, in orbit, the first human dreadnought awakened. It was called Aegis, named after the shield of myth. It was vast, larger than anything humans had built before. Inside its armored skin lay weapons powerful enough to shatter moons. For decades, humans had hidden its construction. Now it was time to reveal it. The galaxy had laughed at a backwater planet. Soon it would learn fear. The Second Fleet advanced past Jupiter, confident that no resistance awaited them. Their commanders laughed at the memory of the missing scouts. Perhaps the humans found a meteor, one sneered. Perhaps their fleet was swallowed by their own mistakes. But then their sensors lit up. Ships, dozens of them. Human warships rising from the void, surrounding the alien fleet like wolves around prey. And then they saw it, the Aegis. The dreadnought drifted forward, silent and massive, its guns glowing faintly. Alien commanders froze. This was not a primitive ship. This was not scrap metal. This was a monster born of human hands. Impossible, one whispered. But it was real. The battle began. The alien fleet opened fire first, beams of pure energy cutting through the dark. But the humans had learned. Their shields absorbed the blasts, bending them away. Missiles streaked out from Earth's ships, guided with deadly precision. Alien vessels exploded one after another, their glowing wreckage scattering like broken glass across space. Inside the Aegis, human officers moved with calm precision. Every shot fired, every maneuver made, carried the weight of centuries of struggle. Humanity did not fight for conquest. They fought to survive. Railguns thundered. Drones swarmed. The void became fire. Within an hour, the Second Fleet was broken. The survivors fled, limping back into warp space, leaving silence behind them. And this time, Earth did not remain silent. From the Aegis, a single transmission was sent across the stars. Carried no threats, no speeches. Just one line, repeated in every language the humans had cracked. "We are awake." The message struck like lightning. Across the galaxy, billions listened in silence. The council chambers shook with fear. Empires that once mocked Earth now whispered nervously to each other. The humans were not a forgotten people. They were not children. They were awake, and their awakening had destroyed 2 fleets. The laughter was gone. In its place, there was fear. On Earth, the people still lived their daily lives, unaware of how close death had come. Children played under the sun. Markets bustled with noise. But in hidden bases and secret command centers, humanity celebrated quietly. They had proven something the galaxy never wanted to admit. Humans could not be broken. Yet the leaders knew this was only the beginning. The second fleet would not be the last. The council would come again, stronger, angrier, with everything they had. Humanity could not simply defend. They had to prepare to strike back. The Aegis was only the first. More dreadnoughts would rise. More fleets would be built. The time of hiding was over. The time of awakening had begun. Far away, in the shadows of alien space, rebels and outcasts whispered new hope. If humans could destroy fleets of the Council, maybe they could break the chains of old empires. Maybe the galaxy's order was not unshakable after all. Some began to secretly reach out, sending coded signals across the void. Not all aliens feared humanity. Some were ready to follow them. And in the Grand Council itself, panic reigned. One lord slammed his clawed hand on the table. "We must crush them before they grow stronger." Another, pale with fear, shook his head. Crush them? They already destroyed 2 fleets. What will they destroy next? No one had an answer. The galaxy had thought Earth was a forgotten world, a place of dust and silence. Now that world had awakened, and its voice was loud enough to shake the stars. The galaxy had expected fear. After 2 fleets were destroyed, the Council thought humans would hide, trembling in the dark of their little planet. They thought Earth would beg for mercy. But Earth did not beg. Earth built. Factories worked day and night in silence. Hidden shipyards stretched across asteroids, moons, and even beneath oceans. The Aegis had been only the beginning. New dreadnoughts rose from steel and fire, their hulls darker, heavier, stronger. They carried no bright banners, no shining symbols of peace. Instead, they bore one mark, a black flag with a single star at its center. It was not a flag of nations. It was the flag of humanity. The Black Armada was born. It began as whispers. Strange sightings near Saturn, rumors of massive ships moving information. Traders who stumbled too close swore they saw fleets of shadows, human warships practicing maneuvers in silence. None of them could ever prove it, but the fear grew. The galaxy had once laughed at Earth as a backwater. Now, when the name Earth was spoken, voices lowered, and eyes turned nervously to the stars. But the Council did not stop. This time, they gathered a true armada, hundreds of ships from half a dozen empires. Their plan was simple. Overwhelm Earth with sheer numbers, erase the humans before they could rise further. The fleet advanced with firepower enough to crack planets. Council broadcasts announced it proudly. "This time," they said, "humanity will fall. Their black ships will be dust." The galaxy watched eagerly, believing the Council's strength was absolute. Yet Earth did not wait to be attacked. From the void, the Black Armada moved first. They emerged from warp space like shadows tearing holes in the sky. Dreadnoughts, carriers, cruisers, all flying the black flag. Their engines burned with stolen alien power, refined by human hands. Their weapons glowed with a fury the galaxy had never seen. At the front of the formation, the Aegis led the charge. Behind it, new giants followed, Helios, Titan, and Valkyrie, each a beast forged for war. The galaxy had expected Earth to defend. Instead, Earth advanced. The Council fleet hesitated. Humans had been underestimated twice, but never before had they taken the fight beyond their system. Now, the black ships moved directly toward the heart of alien space. The message was clear. Humanity would not kneel. Humanity would strike back. The first clash took place near the Red Star of Vera. Council fleets surrounded the system, certain they had trapped the humans. But the Black Armada moved with precision. Human ships struck not with brute strength but with cunning. They feigned weakness, drew enemies closer, then cut through them with sudden fury. Missiles swarmed, drones attacked in waves, and dreadnought guns thundered with relentless rhythm. Alien admirals screamed in disbelief. Their massive fleet was being torn apart, not by superior numbers but by superior strategy. Humans fought like predators who had studied their prey for centuries. They adapted, they learned, and they never stopped. The battle ended with wreckage drifting like ash around Vera's star. And once again, Earth did not celebrate. Instead, they sent a message. Not to the Council, not to the galaxy, but to every free world still chained under Council rule. The message carried only an image, the black flag waving in the void. And beneath it, 3 words in every language. You are not alone. On alien worlds, the effect was immediate. Slaves whispered of humans in the dark. Rebels painted black stars on their walls. Children of conquered races dreamed of ships with Earth's flag flying above them. For the first time in centuries, the Council's grip weakened. Not because of force, but because of fear and hope. Back on Earth, leaders stood in silence as reports poured in. They knew what was coming. The Council would not stop now. The galaxy would unite against them. Humanity had crossed the line between survival and dominance. But the human spirit was not shaken. Inside the war room of the Aegis, an admiral spoke as stars glowed on the map before him. They will come with everything they have, he said. Another officer replied, calm and steady, good, then we won't have to search for them. Laughter rippled quietly through the room. Not the mocking laughter of the Council, but the sharp, confident laughter of a species that had endured everything the galaxy had thrown at it. As the Black Armada disappeared into warp space once more, heading toward the Council's own worlds, a chilling thought spread across the galaxy. The Forgotten Planet was not defending anymore. The Forgotten Planet was leading a war. And from the shadows of broken fleets, the whispers began again. The black flag is coming. The humans are not defending, they are hunting. If they win, nothing will ever be the same. The galaxy had wanted Earth to kneel. Instead, Earth had raised its own banner. And under that black flag, the stars themselves trembled. The galaxy had always believed it was unshakable. Empires had risen and fallen, but the Council stood like a mountain. Unchallenged, unbroken, eternal. For thousands of years, no world had dared to strike at its heart. But now, whispers filled every corner of space. The Black Armada is moving. The Council tried to calm the people. On public broadcasts, alien leaders laughed. Do not fear the humans. They are only children with stolen toys. Their ships will burn. But their voices trembled. Everyone could see it. On the streets of alien capitals, citizens no longer believed the speeches. Merchants closed shops early. Soldiers looked nervously at the skies. Even slaves and servants, once silent, whispered of freedom. For the first time in centuries, the galaxy did not trust its rulers. Meanwhile, the Black Armada struck again. They did not fight like the Council expected. They did not attack the strongest fortresses. Instead, they chose weak points, striking fast and vanishing before reinforcements could arrive. A fuel depot near the Corin cluster erupted in fire. A supply convoy of 50 ships never reached its destination. A communication hub was destroyed in seconds, silencing half a sector. Each attack carried the same message. Now you tremble, not us. Inside the alien council chamber, chaos reigned. How do they know our routes? One lord shouted, his voice echoing. They move too fast, another cried. We cannot predict them. A third slammed his clawed fist. These are not primitives. These are predators. No one could deny it anymore. The humans were not hiding, not running. They were winning. In the war room of the dreadnought Aegis, humans studied their enemy carefully. Maps glowed across holoscreens, showing fleets, weak points, and council defenses. They are slow, one officer said. They are arrogant, another added. And arrogance, the admiral concluded, is a weakness we will cut open. The humans were not stronger in numbers. They were stronger in will, in creativity, in unity. Every battle proved it. Alien admirals tried to respond with brute force. They sent massive fleets to crush the humans. But the Black Armada was never where they expected. They moved like shadows, striking one system, then another, faster than the Council could follow. And with each strike, more aliens began to question their loyalty to the Council. Some soldiers surrendered instead of fighting. Some ships defected, their captains secretly meeting humans in hidden sectors. Even conquered races began to rise, painting the Black Star on walls and banners, shouting that the humans had given them hope. The galaxy was trembling not only from fear, but from change. On one alien world, a young slave whispered to his mother as human ships appeared in the sky. They said Earth was weak, but they came for us. The mother held him close, tears in her eyes. Maybe freedom is real. When the Black Armada left, they did not take prisoners. They left food, medicine, and weapons for those who had been oppressed. The humans were not there to conquer. They were there to break chains. That was the most terrifying truth of all. Back in the Council, panic spread like fire. The Lords had always ruled through fear. But now, humans were planting something stronger than fear, hope. Hope is dangerous. Hope can topple empires. And the Council knew it. They must be stopped at any cost, one counselor demanded. If they continue, the people will no longer follow us. Another whispered the thought that chilled them all. What if the people already prefer them? The chamber fell into silence. The Black Armada continued its march. Dreadnoughts Helios, Titan, Valkyrie, and Aegis tore through defenses. Fighters swarmed. Missiles burned. And always, the black flag waved at the front, a symbol that the galaxy could no longer ignore. The Council's strongest fortress worlds, once thought untouchable, now felt the tremors of fear. Every governor looked to the stars at night, wondering if tomorrow the humans would come. But even in victory, Earth's leaders knew the war was far from over. Inside the command deck of the Aegis, the admiral stood in silence, staring at the star map. So many red lights marked the enemy. So few marked humanity's fleet. They outnumber us 100 to 1, an officer reminded him. The admiral nodded. Yes, but they do not outthink us. They do not outfight us. And they will never outlast us. His words echoed through the deck like fire through cold steel. Every soldier, every pilot, every engineer felt the same truth. Humanity had faced impossible odds before. They had survived themselves, their wars, their struggles. They would survive this too. The galaxy trembled because the old order was cracking. The forgotten world had risen from dust, carrying a flag of defiance that spread faster than fear itself. And as the Black Armada vanished once more into warp space, heading deeper toward the Council's core, one chilling truth hung heavy across the stars. The humans were not just fighting to survive. They were fighting to change everything. The Council had called it impossible. A backwater planet could not challenge the galaxy. Primitive humans could not destroy fleets, capture strongholds, or inspire rebellion. And yet, impossible things kept happening. Everywhere, the black flag appeared. On walls of conquered cities. On the armor of defecting soldiers. Painted on the hands of children who dreamed of freedom. The symbol spread faster than the Council could erase it. The galaxy was beginning to see the truth. Earth was not weak. Earth had been waiting. In the Grand Council chamber, silence fell heavier than stone. The lords of ancient empires gathered, their faces twisted in fear. One broke the silence. They learned too quickly. Every battle makes them stronger. Another added, we gave them technology by accident, and now they use it better than we do. A third slammed the table. No, they were always hiding. This is not the work of a primitive world. This is something older, something planned. The idea spread like poison. What if Earth had never been weak? What if, for centuries, it had hidden in the shadows, pretending, preparing, studying the galaxy until the time was right? The revelation was more frightening than any weapon. On Earth, the truth was simple. Humanity had always been underestimated. They had fought wars with sticks, then swords, then fire, then steel, then machines of thunder. They had torn their own world apart and still survived. Every scar was a lesson. Every defeat was a teacher. Every victory was fuel. The galaxy had advanced too quickly, grown arrogant, forgotten how to struggle. But humans had never forgotten. They carried survival in their blood. That was their secret. That was their power. Inside the dreadnought Aegis, human leaders stood before a vast star map glowing with enemy positions. Around them, the air hummed with tension. A scientist spoke first. The Council believes we found their technology by accident, but they don't see the real truth. A young officer frowned. And what is that truth? The scientist's eyes were cold and sharp. We didn't just find their technology. We perfected it. We made it better. They create for comfort. We create for survival. That is why we win. The revelation hung heavy in the room. Humans were not simply catching up to the galaxy. They were surpassing it. Far away, in alien marketplaces, the truth whispered on every tongue. Traders spoke of human ships that moved faster than light should allow. Soldiers swore that human weapons pierced shields once thought unbreakable. Citizens whispered that humans fought not with machines, but with spirit. And in the shadows, rebels smiled. The chains that bound them were beginning to crack. The Council tried to strike back with propaganda. They are dangerous savages, the broadcast said. They will enslave you. They will destroy everything. But the galaxy had eyes. And the galaxy had memory. The humans did not enslave the conquered. They fed them. They healed them. They gave them weapons to defend themselves. For the first time in history, a rising power did not come as a conqueror, but as a liberator. That revelation shook the galaxy more than any battle. In the war room of the Aegis, the admiral stood with his hands behind his back, eyes fixed on the shifting stars. His voice was calm. They call us dangerous. They call us reckless. But the truth is simple. We remember what they forgot. We remember the hunger of survival. We remember the fire of struggle. And that is why we will win. Every officer in the room felt the weight of his words. It was not arrogance. It was not pride. It was truth. The revelation was no longer for the Council alone. It was for the entire galaxy. The Black Armada advanced deeper into enemy space. Fortress worlds that once shone with untouchable strength now crumbled one by one. And with every victory, more aliens joined their side. Soldiers once loyal to the Council lowered their weapons. Civilians once afraid now raised their voices. It was not just war anymore. It was transformation. The galaxy was no longer ruled by fear. It was being awakened by humanity's fire. In a final desperate meeting, one Council Lord whispered words none thought they would hear. Perhaps we should kneel to them. Gasps filled the chamber. The idea was unthinkable. But so was losing fleets, losing worlds, losing loyalty. And yet it was happening. The revelation was complete. The galaxy finally understood. Earth was not a forgotten world. Earth was not a backwater planet. Earth was the storm they had never prepared for. And as the Black Armada raised its flag higher across the stars, a single truth echoed in every heart. The humans were not rising to join the galaxy. The humans were rising to lead it. The galaxy was silent. For centuries, the Council's voice had echoed across the stars, commanding obedience, crushing rebellion, ruling through fear. But now that voice was gone. Its fleets were shattered. Its fortress worlds burned. Its citizens no longer listened. And in that silence, another voice rose, calm, steady, human. On the bridge of the dreadnought Aegis, Earth's flag of black and star-white fluttered on hollow screens. The Black Armada floated in formation, vast and unbroken. Behind them, liberated worlds cheered in whispers, their chains falling one by one. The admiral stood before his crew, his face lit by the glow of distant stars. "We did not come to enslave," he said. "We did not come to destroy. We came because we had no choice. The galaxy called us weak. The galaxy called us children. But today they will call us something else, leaders." His words carried through the fleet and beyond. Every human, every alien freed by the Armada heard them. A new order was being born. On alien worlds, the change was visible. Markets once filled with fear now filled with hope. Slaves once beaten now stood tall, holding food given freely by human hands. Soldiers once forced to fight for the council laid down their weapons and took oaths beneath the black flag. The humans had done something no one expected. They had replaced fear with unity. And unity is stronger than any fleet. The council's last meeting was desperate. Broken lords, once mighty, now argued like frightened children. They will destroy us, one cried. They will enslave us, another hissed. But an older voice, tired and heavy, whispered the truth. They will not. That is why we are already defeated. The council dissolved in silence. The old order was dead. The Black Armada advanced not as conquerors, but as builders. Where the council had ruled with cruelty, humans built schools, hospitals, and factories. They taught allies how to grow food, how to defend themselves, how to stand. Everywhere the black flag went, hope followed. For the first time in centuries, the galaxy was not afraid of the rulers above them. They were inspired by them. But the path was not without fear. Many humans wondered if they had gone too far. In hidden rooms on Earth, leaders spoke in quiet voices. Can we hold so many worlds? One asked. Can we lead without becoming like them? Another worried. The Admiral's reply was simple. We do not lead with chains. We lead with choice. That is why we will never become them. And so the foundation of the new order was laid. Not an empire, but an alliance. Not a crown, but a council. Not of fear, but of trust. In the halls of the former Galactic capital, the first meeting of the new council was held. At its head stood a human envoy, plain and unarmed, carrying only a folded flag. The alien lords who remained watched in silence as the human opened it. The black flag of Earth spread across the chamber, its single star shining. He placed it on the table and spoke. This is not our flag alone. This is yours too. It is the flag of every world that refuses chains. Together we build a new order. There was no applause, no cheer. Only silence, and then, slowly, the nods of leaders who had once feared humanity. The galaxy had changed. For the first time in history, the forgotten world had become the center of everything. Trade routes shifted toward Earth. Alien fleets pledged allegiance to human admirals. Even the children of distant stars learned human words, human songs, human history. The galaxy no longer mocked Earth as backwater. They called it home. And yet, even in victory, humans remained cautious. The Admiral stood on the bridge of the Aegis, watching the stars stretch endlessly. We have won today, he told his crew. But we must never forget who we are. We rose from dirt. We rose from struggle. If we forget that, we will fall like those before us. The crew nodded, their faces solemn. They knew the truth. The greatest danger was not the galaxy. It was arrogance. The same arrogance that had destroyed the council. Humanity could never allow itself to forget. So the new order began, not with fireworks or thrones, but with quiet promises and watchful eyes. Across the stars, one truth remained clear. The galaxy had once called Earth a forgotten world. They had once called humans weak. Now they called them something else entirely. Guardians, leaders, builders of a new dawn. And as the black flag of Earth rose above 1,000 worlds, the final words echoed across the void, whispered by friend and foe alike. They thought Earth was nothing. Now Earth is everything.